Hello.
Logan, how's it going, man?
Yo. Pretty good.
Cool. There we go.
That's how good. Yeah. Oh, hold on. I have tea, but no spoon. I need to fix this immediately.
No, can't have tea, but no spoon. In the meanwhile, I will regale you people with true stories from the CIA. So essentially, the CIA was recruiting all of these assassins. And basically, assassins. Yeah, they were recruiting assassins. So they had these three remaining candidates, basically. These two women and one man. And anyway, so their last assignment was, they split the three of them up, and they had the first woman come in, and they gave her a gun, and they said, "In that room is your husband. If you want to be an assassin for the CIA, go in there and do what needs to be done." And she like cracked, and she was like, "No, I can't. I love him. I know I want to serve my country, but it's too much." And so she ran off, and she was disqualified. And brought the second woman in, basically, and they gave her the gun, and they said, like, "In there is your husband. Go in there and kill him if you want to be an assassin for the CIA." Reluctantly, she took the weapon. She walks into the room. A few minutes later, like, she comes running out crying. She's like, I looked into his eyes and I couldn't do it. And, like, she was disqualified. And so they get to the dude, and he sort of like looks a little disinterested. So they give him a gun, and he's like, "Oh, okay. What do I need to do with this?" And he's like, "In this room is your wife. You've got to go in there and shoot her if you want to be an assassin for the CIA." Anyway, so the dude walks into the room, like a few seconds later, they hear these like loud, like 7 bangs, bang, 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 because he empties the clip. And then there's like a period of silence. And then they hear sort of like a scuffle and this repeated like clunking sound, basically. And the guy comes out and he's like, and they go, "What happened?" And he's like, "Well, the gun was filled with blanks, so I had to finish the job with the chair." A terrible joke. All right.
All right. To business.
To business.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a couple of items we can just chat through.
Okay.
By the way, welcome Aaron from the Aragon project.
Oh, cool.
I think he's joined the most boring demo day we've held so far.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll if you want to see any of the stuff, I mean, we're happy to demo it again.
I'd love to see. That's what I came to see. I wanted to see what you guys are up to.
Okay, cool, man. So basically, just in terms of so these are going to act as our every Friday at 12 UTC. We're going to hold one of these demo days / community meetings. So and then we'll just update everyone on what we're up to and what we built this week. So Logan has been on holiday since Wednesday morning, so we don't have that much done for this week. But some items that are pending for us at the moment is we have an ICO that we are now technically ready to do. We've run through all the processes there. It's literally just a question of running the last deployment script technically. But before we can do that, we need to basically get some of our marketing in place. And we also need a legal entity to sort of like house our risk in.
I'm not even sure if we'd really need it, but it just seems a little prudent to have something in case. Yeah, because the legal action that does come down, it can't touch our products, but it might help us. Fragile meat bags.
For sure, this for sure, it's definitely a smart move.
Yeah. So what we've decided to do basically was we've decided on the country of Georgia to incorporate our non-governmental, non-profit organization, and essentially this thing's only role will be to push the button that deploys the code. So we're currently in the process of hiring the singular staff member that we need for that entity. If any of you guys know of somebody who's
in Georgia and knows crypto, that's almost the extent of the job requirements.
Yeah.
Without like breaking you guys' flow, like why Georgia? I've never heard of anyone doing a thing over there before. It's like,
Well, that's part of the reason.
That is part of the reason. So I'm recording this call, so I don't want to be.
Okay.
I tell you what. I will tell you over Signal. I'll gladly tell you over Signal why we've decided on Georgia specifically. But
Awesome.
but yeah, so essentially the real reason is just so we had an incredibly good chat with Tom from the Aztec project this week regarding some scaling questions that we had about SmokeSignal. But basically, he said a very interesting thing. He said that in 2017, if you wanted to get your project live and you wanted funding, you had to so twist the economics of your token that you essentially, to not commit fraud, you had to commit the ultimate fraud by offering nothing.
Basically, yeah.
Basically. So how our sale will work now is that we will be honest, we'll be open about what it does. Unfortunately, that means that a large portion of the world cannot participate. So it's very sad for us. I mean, but that seems to be the only way to really go forward. We think the project will luckily outlive the capacity to halt it or to stop it in any way. So hopefully, as time goes by, more people can actually opt into the system. But for now, if we want to do it and we don't want to face arbitrary legal battles for the rest of our natural lives, then sort of got to go with that. Yeah, so that's and I'll tell you privately why anybody who wants to know, I'll gladly give you guys a call and tell you why we decided on Georgia. I think it's a pretty novel.
It'll be really handy for me as well because there's a whole bunch of I speak to a whole bunch of other projects as well, and there's quite a few in the same situation to you guys where they want to do token sales and stuff like that, and yeah. Okay, I'm not going to take up the time with just the legal stuff, but it's just
no worries. Well, part of what we want to do with the Foundry DAO is, Foundry. We've now decided to stop calling it the Foundry DAO or the Foundry DAO. It's now Foundry.
It's just Foundry. I think it's a bit stronger, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So part of what we want to do is we really want to facilitate any projects like our projects who normally just don't have a home. They don't have any place where they can really honestly do business. We want to facilitate helping them to get money and to actually launch their project. So
and specifically those projects will be things that are profitable, but you wouldn't want to start as a centralized entity because you'd be stepping on too many big powerful toes.
Yeah,
so that's the idea.
Yeah, so any sort of I mean we currently are thinking is that once our whole governance system is up and running, our white paper should be forthcoming. I think probably end of next week after that maybe. But yeah, so one of the things we want to do is we want to be able to take this type of entity that we have, clone it, give it to guys who want to run their own, sort of a token sale, albeit somewhat limited in terms of where they're allowed to do it. So so hopefully we can contribute to to helping to solve that problem. And I think honestly, what will happen over time is the regulations are so convoluted that I really feel that we have honesty and justice on our side. We're not trying to defraud people. We're putting their money in a thing that they control. So I think sooner or later these things will start. It'll start to chip away. And I think places like Georgia, who have unintentional benefits to launching your project there, will start to garner the effects of that. And other places will see it and relax.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so basically, on just in terms of other updates that we're busy with, so we're working on our governance white paper at the moment. Our governance white paper, okay, so Logan has taken over the governance white paper. He'll be back with us full steam on next week, Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's essentially the only items that I really have for update right now. Would you guys like us to demo one of the three things that we have working? So the three things we have working at the moment is we have DAIHard working, we have SmokeSignal functioning. I couldn't quite see in the previous demo if we demoed it. It was live last week, but we've added the tip and burn in solidarity feature. And then the last thing we have live is we obviously have all the technicals behind our token so live if somebody would like to see that again.
I'm happy to see it all, to be honest, because I haven't seen any of it so far. I feel like my head's been just into code and into other DAO stuff. So I'd love to see all the stuff that you guys are working on. Awesome.
Okay. Well, I'll demo then. I will start with SmokeSignal because it's definitely my favorite right now. I mean, part of that's just because it's a new project and I like new projects. Yeah, so, okay, sharing now. So this is SmokeSignal. This is live. I mean, all of the things we've been talking about are live. Well, I suppose even the sales live technically, although it's just for a fake fry, just for testing purposes. But anyway, SmokeSignal is live in a real sense as well as DieHard. And SmokeSignal, the main purpose of SmokeSignal is to give people a place to post content, have discussions, coordinate, a little bit like Reddit or a little bit like Twitter, sort of depends on how we evolve it. But the key feature there is that it's uncensorable and it's sort of ungameable and there's no moderation. So I think right here, these are just the main points here. It's very much built to be a social media platform built not just on cryptocurrency, but actually really trying to elegantly expose the benefits of cryptocurrency and blockchain out to the user. And so one example of that is that you have these numbers in red here. This is how much money has been burned by people posting in these topics. These topics don't have really hard boundaries. You can create a new topic, you know, I can make a new topic just like that. But just a way to organize the content here. Just one example is in games here. This guy burned $100 to say that he's basically announcing a contest. We don't know who this guy is. This happened, let's see, about a week ago, I think. It was on the 2nd. So that's like almost 2 weeks ago now. And he's basically saying that he's going to send $100 in DAI to anybody who off of our mirror site. Because right now, if you see the URL, I'm on Foundry.com. You could really call this more of a mirror site. We also have a .eth domain. Yes.
Can I just quickly provide some context? So, okay, so basically what SmokeSignal does is it allows you to post messages and to show how serious you are about the message by burning money. Hence the name SmokeSignal. So in other words,
and it gets posted on Ethereum as well, I should mention.
Yeah, so and it gets posted straight on the Ethereum blockchain, right? So at the moment, that's a little bit expensive, but we have all manner of way to scale that going forward. So the idea is that if you really wanted to get a message out there and you wanted to show, listen, I'm very serious about what I'm saying, a way of doing it is sort of like a self-immolation, a little micro self-immolation of burning money, right? So that's the context of how SmokeSignal basically functions. You don't have to burn any money. You can still get an uncensorable message out there. But if you wanted to show that you're serious about what you're saying, then one of the ways that you could show that seriousness is by burning some money. So, and what has happened in this case is what Logan is talking about now. So somebody actually used our tool to show that they're very serious about something they're trying to accomplish with our tool. Now, this is just FYI. This is not me or Logan or anyone we think we know.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so now if I mouse over, and this is the newer feature that may have been present last demo, but I don't think I actually talked much about it. So he actually burned $100 to post this, but you can actually burn in solidarity. So you can see author burned $100, crowd burned $1 in support. So the reason you would burn for this message is essentially the same reason he burned, is he wanted to get exposure. And as we move forward, we're going to use the amount burned in more and more filtering and sorting algorithms of this client that you're seeing. And in one way it's already exposed is that these topics are sorted by the total amount burned. But then you can also, let me just go find it now. You can also tip, so you can actually send the creator of this message money. I'm just trying to find the post now, should be here. So this guy was actually saying that one of our features that we're talking about didn't seem to be exposed. So I went and this is me here. I went and I added the feature, and then he actually tipped me $5. So I burned $2 to make the message, and then he replies here and says thanks, and he also tipped me $5. So what you have here is a social media platform that I think there's two really attractive features of it. One is that without any reputation, if you're serious enough, you can still basically burst your way into the front page and essentially pay for engagement, or at least pay for attention. And then as well, you can actually reasonably expect, if you think your content is valuable, that you could actually make that money back. So if you wanted to put together, in fact, I saw a really comprehensive report that looked into each of the sort of conspiratorial claims on whether coronavirus is man-made, whether it escaped from a factory. Really nice document. And now they put a lot of time into that, and it seemed to just be an open source thing just for the common good. But if you put that on something like SmokeSignal, you could actually expect to get paid for that, because people would feel grateful to that, and they would want to tip it, which I think is reinforced by the fact that you see, it's a visible thing when someone is tipped. So and then the UX for this tipping.
One quick question: see, like when you actually do say, I want to signal something, and I post something here, and I burn $50 or whatever, is that actually burning the DAI, or is it like going to like a pool of funds that your DAO could then use?
Yeah, it's actually burning the DAI. So if I go click, I'll just show the Ethereum transaction itself, which earlier I wasn't saying anything about it, but as Scott was talking, I was just demonstrating that the data here is here on Ethereum. So again, SmokeSignal is just making, people have already used this Etherscan in this way to post information. There was an article from China that was being censored in China, and they put it on Ethereum for this. SmokeSignal is just a way to make it easier to publish, which I'll get to that UX in a second, and it makes it easier to view. But back to your question now. So if you see, $10.02 will be addressed to 0. And that extra bit there is we have when you post something or when you respond, I'll just do a respond here. We have this checkbox here that we take a 1% unless they uncheck this checkbox. And that's sort of the profit motive of this platform. And so far, everybody has kept it checked, except for, oddly, that guy when he burned $100, which is really sad, because then we would have $1 in total profit of this. So I asked him why he did that. He didn't respond. So who knows? But
like the whole $100 and he didn't tip the 1%. That's
right.
That's
Right. Yeah.
But Aaron, sorry, I interrupted Logan when he was talking about the guy's actual post. And if you look at the guy's post, what he's trying to accomplish is he's trying to have someone. He's basically put up a bounty. Can you go there quickly?
I'm going. Yep, going
there
now.
So he's put up a bounty of $100 for someone to post something so offensive that me and Logan would want to take it out of our official mirror for SmokeSignal. So
no, it's definitely not one of you guys, then, right? I know it's definitely not one of you lot, for sure.
Say again?
Well, I know it's definitely not one of you guys, then, for sure, right? He didn't tip, and he's trying to make you sense of the thing, right? So
yeah.
So we can.
Go ahead.
So the thing is, our response could be that, okay, so we have the .eth domain, which will be controlled by our DAO as soon as the DAO is live. And then we have the .com domain. So what we'll do is we'll probably build some sort of a censorship mechanism, which is enabled for our mirror, which we'll be legally liable for. But the DAO would have to decide whether or not that's in the DAO's version. Mm-hmm. Right.
And I'll also make the point that even if we or the DAO want to upgrade the .eth domain, we can't actually delete the old version, because the old version it's all the .eth domain always maps to IPFS hashes. So we could update the .eth domain to point to a new IPFS hash. We could delete the old content from our website, which means our server, so it wouldn't be pinning it on IPFS anymore. But if a single person keeps the old version of SmokeSignal, then that will always be available through IPFS. In fact, I'll just go to let's see, SmokeSignal.eth. I don't think it works on. Okay, for some reason this isn't working on Chrome. If you have MetaMask on Firefox, this works.
Just add the /. That's why you have to add the / in Chrome.
Oh,
is that?
Yeah, it's some weird thing with MetaMask.
Use Chromium. What? Just use Chromium. I don't. You've gone the whole hog and you've decided to use Linux anyway. Use Chromium. Scrap it. Scrap.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that'll
do. Okay, so you can see now the URL has changed. This is how .eth domains work, at least the way that MetaMask implements them. And so now this version we can never take down. Now it could be that the actual content eventually gets sort of lost on IPFS, but that would only happen if nobody's using the tool at all. So if the tool is popular, And then now if I go here in this one and I go find a post and go to this link here will work forever as long as the tool remains popular enough, as long as, I guess technically we're using a gateway here, but there are browsers now that support IPFS hashes directly. So we've really built this to be as permanent as possible. And this is something we have no control over this at all. Except that right now, as I've sort of been implying, because not many people are using it, if we delete a version of the app, it might get lost forever. But that's only because it doesn't have much use right now.
Awesome, that's great. It's great stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Pretty happy with it.
I'm gonna give it a go later on.
Cool. Yeah, please. Yeah, please take a look and yeah.
I promise I won't post anything super offensive either.
Sorry?
Well, you can make $100. I say you go post.
Well, you know,
yeah,
you know, it's really not the worst thing for us if somebody does actually take them up on that offer. I mean, I can't say I'm looking forward to seeing the entries into this contest, but at the same time, this guy is essentially welcoming people to test the boundaries of our claims, which is that it's uncensorable. So in the event that we are forced to implement a filter on our mirror site, we can still at the same time say, but look, here is the uncensored version, which we really can't control that. So in a way, I can only guess at this guy's motivations, but it might not be entirely nefarious. He might actually be wanting to just sort of verify in a way that this really is uncensorable. And because it is in a fundamental way, that's actually could be quite good for us. And in fact, I posted to Reddit just the other day trying to get this guy exposure on his message. So yeah, it would be good if people tested the boundaries in that way for us.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah. So that's SmokeSignal. I don't think there's much else to demo. I mean, there's the UX for tipping, but there's no real surprises there. Oh, the only other thing is these faces here. So these faces are these are identicons. So if I go ahead and sign in here, and connect to wallet. So that's my face. That actually is generated from the characters in my address. So the color of the face is 3 characters of this address. I don't remember which ones. This is an open library on Elm, so if anybody's using Elm, they want to use this, they can. But if I go change my MetaMask,
they can actually take the Elm and they can package it as a widget and use it inside of any other app as well, right? They don't necessarily need to.
It might take a bit of work on the package author's side to actually, I don't know. I've never tried it. It shouldn't be too much of a leap to do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work out the box, today in that way. But anyway, you get all these different faces, and they. What's interesting then is that you don't have usernames, but you can start to recognize people. So, for example, I know what Skulk's face looks like on this, and when he posts something, I know immediately that it's him, and that's very cool because you still haven't broken the cryptographic assurance of people being able. You can't just go create a username, and I can't go create a username that looks like Skulk's. I can't create a face that looks like Skulk's because there's enough differentiation between them. So it's another example of where we try to take something that, a desirable characteristic about cryptocurrency, which is that you can't spoof someone else's identity, and expose it to the end user in terms of, in this case, a face, which as primates we are.
I mean, that's what bakeries are supposed to be about. They kind of suck. So I do like that quite a bit.
I didn't hear the first part of that. Say again.
Yeah, the blockies are supposed to be like that. That's what they're essentially supposed to be, but they kind of suck and you can't really differentiate. So I do like that.
Yeah, your brain isn't really built to differentiate weird abstract shapes from other weird abstract shapes. Whereas it is very interesting. Faces are surprisingly I know what the we call him the frenemy, the guy who posted that stuff. I know what the frenemy looks like now.
Right. He has a bit of a cheeky smile.
That's exactly. Cool. So anyway, yeah, no, it is an interesting use that Logan came up with here. Listen, Logan, just FYI, one of our participants who's now he's had to go to the next meeting, but he said an interesting thing. So maybe we can chat about this for a second. But he asked, like, is it possible for somebody to burn money to get rid of something?
Sure.
So that's his question.
Well, it's definitely an interesting idea. For the purposes of this app, we wanted the contract to be as simple as, well, let me put it a different way. We knew that even with an extremely simple smart contract system where all you can do is burn for posts, yours or others, and then tip for posts as well, you can build so much on top of that with the interface. All the fact that there's topics now and replies and that is just metadata built on top of the contract doesn't know any of that. It's all just metadata encoded and decoded by the interface. And you can do so much more expansion with that. You could have tags, you can have quotes, you could tag other people. So there's a lot you can do just with that basic system. But having said that, I think there's a lot of exciting opportunities to play with the money in different ways. And yeah, that idea of being able to punish a post or burn maybe to, even if it's just kind of a downvote where the author doesn't really get punished, but you kind of hide the visibility. Although I think a punishment would be better because if I go and I post something that's essentially spam, okay, maybe I can pay my way to the top. But if there's some way to punish me because it's spam, that would actually allow the community to self-police in a pretty interesting way. And you can do all sorts of stuff like, okay, if there's a post up and it has $100 in deposit, do you have to burn $10 to burn $1 of theirs, or do you have to burn $1 burn $10 of theirs? And there's all these, there's a lot of exploration to do there for sure. Well, yeah, I guess that's all I can say. It's a good idea, and it's just a matter of building out to those things when the user feedback points in that direction. Or it's just, we don't have users yet, so it's just a matter of first building something small and then going from there, which is why we have replies and topics right now that came out of me and other people actually using the thing. Yeah.
That's great. I like the approach you guys have taken because
cool.
Yeah, like a lot of people, they would go, like you see it a lot. They just they have a great idea, they think it's really awesome, and then they just start to go and build the whole thing out. And then they're not building it out with direct user feedback. Yeah. They don't really know what people actually want. So by the time they spend all the time and money and effort building the thing, people just like they just don't engage with it, right? So I like the methodology you guys are taking on this one. So.
Yeah, that's actually the approach we're taking
on lean methodology. The lean methodology. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, that's actually I think me and Logan have some experience with the lean methodology, but that's also the approach we're taking to our DAO. And basically just I really like the whole Aragon ecosystem, but one of the only things that we sort of like, it feels like a very complex system. And it's even for me and Logan, who understand Solidity, it's a fairly complex system to grasp in its entirety.
Right, and actually, I think the equation there would actually be different if we weren't Solidity developers, but because we're pretty well versed in that, the cost it would take to learn the Aragon system is actually, it's too great compared to just building it ourselves. Whereas if we didn't know Solidity, I think Aragon probably would be the best choice.
And this is not something I haven't heard before. Like, this is something I've definitely heard before. And, there is definitely a learning barrier when it comes to trying to grok the whole system and how all the components fit together. The one thing that I would say is that, like, the way it's designed is designed in such a way that if you guys, you want to do some stuff, right? If you could literally just take the components that you needed if you had a regular thing, and you can just, without actually touching the code, you can literally build any governance system, pretty much any governance system with the tools that are available. And it's just about wiring the permissions together. So the thing that you would kind of have to learn is the permission system, but which is an overhead. However, like if you have any sorts of if you have any type of complicated interactions that you're going to have with your users, you're going to need that permission system regardless. So instead of having to reinvent it, just use the things that's there. But for sure, like it's a lot of people as well. Like I speak to some people, and I advise them to just use a Moloch DAO as well, because at the end of the day, if you really just want something that is super simple, super lean, you could just go with with Moloch, because it's like a couple hundred lines of code and stuff. But like, yeah, again, you guys are Solidity developers. You have like a pretty niche thing, like a use case you want to do. So for sure, like, it makes sense to like explore that angle and stuff.
Okay, well, I guess that would be that could be a segue into demoing the sale as we have it now. But go ahead,
Okay,
Skull.
cool.
Unless you,
okay. No, I don't have anything specifically interrupted there. Sorry, I see someone joined us, Dude. Dude, Warwick. Hi, welcome, Warwick. Welcome, Scotty, by the way, guys. Do you guys have any questions?
Dude's been here a while.
Smoke Signal. No, the
anyway.
Dude has been, Dude's been around since the start, since before you were here. Do you guys have any questions regarding Smoke Signal that we didn't answer this time or last time? I take your silence as complicit acceptance. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's show Aaron the sale then now.
Okay. All right. So the sales consists of buckets. So we have every bucket lasts 7 hours. You can put your DAI into the bucket. So right now, no one has entered the bucket because it's a fake sale that nobody cares about, selling fake fry. But so the way this works is when the bucket ends, there will be some number of people who put money in, and if you've put in half the money for the bucket, half the DAI, you'll get half the fry that is generated from it. In the current test sale, each bucket mints 50,000. That will actually change. These numbers aren't finally a little bit different, but in this scenario, if the bucket is releasing 50,000 there, one DAI, and somebody else puts in one DAI, then I'll get half that. I'd get 25,000. Currently, nobody else is in the bucket. So if I put this in, this is just sort of demonstrating that I will get 50,000 fry out of 50,000 fry. Another thing, which we don't need to go into technicals here, but as part of our strategy for being able to be honest about what we're doing, we're excluding the US and maybe several other jurisdictions too. It sort of depends on how it goes when we set up our entity in Georgia, our legal entity. But currently you verify jurisdiction, and I think this is the browser in which it works. Yeah, okay. There's currently a weird bug on MetaMask, which we'll have to stamp out, but that checks my IP address, and it also checks the geolocation API, which I don't really understand how that works, but it's sort of two independent ways of checking. If they agree, and if they're not in the US or somewhere else we put on the blacklist, then you get access to the action button here. Yeah, I will just go ahead and start this process. Now, I almost think, Skulk, we should it's a shame our demos don't happen when the bucket's about to end. Maybe we should just redeploy this test sale so that the buckets only last like 10 minutes or something.
Oh yeah, that'd be actually pretty.
Because I can never actually show what it looks like afterwards.
Okay, cool.
Is this open source?
Yeah, it's all open
yes.
source. Yeah.
Awesome.
So one of the things that I can't quite convince Logan and our other team members of just yet, I might be able to next week, but so we have a very ridiculous lockdown in South Africa. It includes all kinds of horrible things like making the sale of alcohol illegal and making the sale of cigarettes illegal, and until yesterday night, it was illegal for us to buy anything online. Which, I mean, if that
is that draconian over there? I didn't know you guys buy cigarettes. Oh, shit.
Skulk,
yeah.
What is this gas fee, Skulk? Look at this.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
The gas fee is auto calculated.
It's not that high right now.
$4.
Let me quickly check the gas station.
Yeah, I got the gas station plugged in my browser, and like safe limit right now is 21. So like that should be okay. But
gas station. Right. So you say it's 21 gas. That doesn't look in it there?
It doesn't look right at all.
That's not like an
is the
old
gas?
transaction or something. No, dude, that doesn't
No.
look correct. Gas, hold
I mean,
on.
should I just erase a zero there?
No,
I mean,
cancel this and try it again. That doesn't look correct.
I did already once. Oh, I guess I didn't reject. Let me just try this now.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, Aaron, the thing is, this thing is open source. So one of the things I'm thinking of is there's quite a bunch of free market type foundations and civil rights organizations. So there was a guy in here earlier called Pete LaRue, and he's the head of one of the business organizations. And these guys are like actively suing the government almost perpetually anyway. And now with these lockdowns, I mean, it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense how any of these things defeat a virus, right? So so essentially, one of the ways that we were thinking of using our DAO is to create an organization where we extend this bucket just like for 10 years, basically, so that the ICO lasts for 10 years. It constantly sells tokens, and then it goes into a treasury that's managed by like a multi-sig of these people. And all these multi-sig from each of these civil organizations, and they just perpetually sue the government for damages. But yeah,
I like that a lot. I like that a lot for sure.
Yeah. So what we wanted to do, I'm still discussing this with them, but the idea is that if you, for instance, like we have a lot of poor people in South Africa,
I didn't have enough dye. That's why the gas was going nuts. I didn't have the dye, so it was failing, and it didn't. Usually, it realizes. Usually, it's like your gas is crazy hot. It probably means it'll fail, and for some reason, it didn't realize it this time. So
yeah, always failing transactions. I hate that error. I hate that error. It sucks. Like I did. Yeah, but I'm not going to go off on a tangent on that. But go on.
Yeah, we should probably start demoing our stuff on one of those test nets, Logan.
Demoing on test nets for pussies. Especially, I really do feel like that though, especially when, I really like building things that burn money. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I see the future or I just like burning money. But in any case, when that's the case, when I'm putting my money into something and it might have to be burned, it feels right to get on mainnet as soon as possible and put my actual balls in the vice, not my fake balls that aren't really my balls, So.
No, but anyway. It's true. Like when you're interacting on Rinkeby or Kogan or something like that, it's not the same. It really isn't. It really isn't. No. So like, I'm one of these guys as well. I'm like move fast, break things. Yeah, like a lot of people they kind of frown on that crypto space, but hey, is what it is, But I love I love what you guys are doing over here, man. It's awesome.
Cool. Just gonna do fast. But you're not gonna see much more from here. This will pop up, and the interface it kind of deals. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave the tab open. Come back to it. And for now,
hold on. Just go back to the tab. Just go back to the tab quickly. Let's just explain what he's looking at there. The thing is, on the left-hand side, you see the concluded bucket. So we're using sort of like an ICO type sale, not ICO, EOS type sale, where you basically.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say EOS. This is what EOS kind of like what they did, right?
Yeah. So we use the EOS sale obviously raised like a ridiculous amount of money. We think it'll be very nice if we raise one thousandth of that amount. We'd be elated. But we'll see how it goes, especially given how few people we can actually let into our sale. But
well, to be fair, okay, you're not going to raise what EOS raised, right? But you're doing this at the right time because, like, the whole market's picking up right now as well, and there's a lot more interest in. At the end of the day, like, it's a dirty word, but you need to have a bunch of speculators involved in these things here because they bring price discovery to these things. Sometimes in the past, in 2017, it wasn't exactly great price discovery. It wasn't like, like the valuations were crazy. But at the same time, like you need that. So you need money to build projects, right? And speculation and speculators, they help. And right now is a great time. So I think that, like, I think that you guys would do well. Honestly, I do, and I love the ethos behind the stuff that you guys are doing. And yes, it's just really great. This is really, really great stuff, to be fair.
Yeah, so what you're looking at on the screen, by the way, on the left-hand side, you see like the concluded buckets, so the ones that have already been done. And then if you had tokens in a previous bucket, there'll be a little button there that allows you to withdraw all your tokens from all previous buckets, right?
Right. So in 3 hours and 50 minutes, that will actually show up here, and then I'll have just a button that I can click.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've actually, like on my browser, I've participated in the sale. And so there's a bunch of fried tokens that are in my browser, my girlfriend's browser. Yeah, and you can just withdraw them on the left, and then on the right-hand side, it tells you how many buckets are still remaining, how many are still running, how much fry is there still to be sold. And the part in the middle just basically, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? So I mean, that just tells you like what proportion of the bucket, given that no one else enters the bucket, are you going to get. And then the part that I'm also like quite excited about is the referral bonus part. Logan, I don't know if you want to, well, actually, I hear the grinder in the background there by you. Let me quickly like just run through that. So we have a referral bonus, and we can thank Mr. Richard Hart for us including this referral bonus item. But basically, if you come to the site and you have no referral bonus, it'll tell you.
Do you want to demo it? Something's broke on mine.
Okay, let me quickly do that. Okay.
So it's coming up on my browser. I think it might be a local issue though. I'm not sure.
Say again?
The sale, I'm trying to get the sale up on my browser, but it's just not loading.
You do have to make sure you, here, I'll just post the exact link in the chat, because there's sort of you have to put a hash thing on the end, otherwise it'll fail because it's not.
Oh, yeah, I see, yeah, I've got
I could tell you what to put there, but I'll just paste it.
Okay, Logan, you just want to mute on your side then?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we don't have access to our nice quiet environments anymore. All right, so I'm just, oh, what's happening now? Okay, I'm on Kovan. Hold on a sardine. All right, so okay, I verify my jurisdiction. Just what this does basically is it does two checks. It does a check against the IP and the Google GPS API, which actually like uses the known location of the guy's Wi-Fi router. So those are kind of like two hard things to spoof. You know, it's not impossible, but it is actually quite difficult. And we can make a legitimate claim. We feel that if you broke both those rules, you know, you were technically aware of what you were doing. You know, and by technical, I mean like you did it consciously and you knew what you were up to. So let me just.
So you couldn't just like, if I just like connected to my VPN, like.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. Yeah. So if you connect to your VPN, you can actually now see that it'll fail on your side. If you connect to your VPN and you try to click the verify button.
I still can't even load the site, but I think it might be a local issue here. So I don't.
You're supposed.
Like, I can see on you guys' screen. So.
Welcome, Mr. Snitcher. How's it going?
What I mean.
Mr. Snitcher, just FYI, we were talking earlier about our legal plan that I'd also like to run by you again, but I guess this time I'd have to actually pay you for your excellent time. But we've decided to incorporate our endeavor in Georgia, which I believe borders your native Armenia. Hold on, let me just unmute you quickly.
I'm Lithuanian.
Sorry, Adam, just say that again.
How's it going?
It's going very well. It's going very well.
Lithuanian, although there are.
Oh, sorry, Lithuanian. My apologies, not Armenian. I'm sorry.
I know some Georgian. I know some Georgians. Okay, Georgia. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure things are nice and Wild West down there. That's cool.
Hold on a second. Let me just quickly. Okay, are you seeing the same link that I just posted, Aaron?
1 sec.
Yeah, Skulk, I already posted that link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I tried to do. Yeah, I mean, I can see the identicon for the site, but I think it must be a local issue because it's just not. I'm just getting like a blank screen. But I can see it on you guys' side. So
are you on?
Is your MetaMask connected? Is it
Yeah,
unlocked?
I've got my connected. Yeah.
And is it on the main net?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on with the demo for now.
Okay, cool. Well, Aaron, if you don't mind, like a second just after the call, that would be actually nice for us to see why that would have happened then. But anyway, okay, so all right, I don't have a VPN right now, but okay. But anyway, but the thing is that what this does, you know, the location.
I don't really think we don't need to go into too much detail
all right,
about
anyway,
the jurisdiction thing.
All right, okay. But anyway, but the bottom line is VPN will not suffice to do it. You'd actually need a lot of technical know-how, and you'd really have to be super deliberate. So our thinking there is that if somebody does that, then, you know, that's kind of like, that's, yes, people, I have kick and I have hex. Okay, you guys, like last time, I realized somebody actually made a note of the fact that I had hex. Okay, I don't have hex in this account. Let's just have a look here. Do I have any die? Okay, I have like sense of.
I can't believe this. Hex, my man, what is going on over there?
But that's insane. That thing is like, that's the 17th biggest project right now. If CMC didn't like delist them, well, they're nerfing them basically. Yeah, it's very odd.
Show them the referral stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so basically here we have if you come to this, hold on guys, sorry, I'm just hearing myself in someone's microphone. Okay, so if you basically come to this website and you don't have a referral link, then here it says referral bonus active at the moment. It'll be in red and it'll tell you this, you don't have a referral bonus right now. So if you click that, then it'll create one for you and it says, nice, you're using a referral bonus. So what this does is it takes your MetaMask account, it creates a little cookie for you, it embeds that in the browser, and then anybody who uses that cookie, right, including yourself, will basically, you know, they'll
when
be able
he uses
to,
the URL, will get a cookie, rather.
Yeah. So whoever uses your URL, but yourself as well, because when we create the cookie, it actually goes and sits there for yourself as well. Whoever uses this URL will basically get a cookie, and if they ever buy any fry through the sale, then your referral link, which you will see that's actually my MetaMask account, your referral link will basically credit your MetaMask account with a certain amount of fry in the following bucket, right? So and the person who's buying will actually get a discount. It's not exactly a discount. They'll get a percentage of the purchase that they're doing in the next bucket, right? So we've split it out such that all the referrals are going to the next bucket, and all the actual buys stay in the current bucket, right? So that it doesn't make the math strangely obfuscated for the current bucket that you're in. So the way that the referral program rewards people is if you use someone else's referral code, you get 10% discount on the fry that you're purchasing. And if somebody else uses your referral code,
well, you get 10% of the fry you put in, you get extra fry put into the next bucket. Is the best, I think, the best way to do it.
that's probably that's a more mathematically accurate description, right? So and then what happens as well is in the next bucket, if somebody else buys with your referral code, you get between 10% and 100% of the purchase that they did, and that scales up with
you don't take it from them. It's a bonus. It's as if extra die was put into the next bucket by you.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. So basically, we've tried to make it very aggressive, and the reason for that's multiple. On the one hand, we do want to actually do a raise, so we do want people with marketing expertise to help us to get the word out and to get the tokens out and stuff. And the other thing as well is people with marketing expertise are going to be necessary in the DAO going forward. We do want people to have an interest in Foundry, who can do marketing and who can actually push Foundry's interests forward.
Right, so and because when Foundry makes a decision, it's very much it's an aggregate of the fry holders' decisions. I mean, that's how DAOs are supposed to work, and that's certainly how we're building ours. So there's actually a benefit to having fry holders be made up in some significant part by people who know how to market. Because Skulk and I definitely don't know how to market, or at least we're learning from a very beginner level.
Yeah. So So yeah, so that's what our referral program basically does. And then the idea is that you know, on all our little Telegram groups we're all on, we go post these like crazy, you know, and you try and get as much as you can. You try and get as many people to, you know, obviously people who find value in the project, not just random people who don't know what to do with their money, people who think that we're doing a good thing. I actually think there's a good chance me and Logan are going to do a video called why the last thing you should do is invest in Foundry, you know, where we're going to go through all the myriad of reasons why ICO investing is a terrible idea. And especially our ICO is an exceptionally terrible idea. Yeah, so basically that's the link. Oh, and the thing is that it scales up to a maximum of 100. So how it works is you get between 10% and 100%, but you get 100% once you've raised like up to $90,000 basically. So so if you've helped us raise a large amount of money, then you get a very, very large reward from everyone you refer from that point onwards. Yeah, so that's basically the referral program. Yeah, okay, cool. That's actually kind of a good point. We didn't actually, I didn't chat to Aaron about that. Okay, so sorry guys, just
you got to alt tab to the Signal conversation in the live stream, Skulk.
I didn't alt tab to it. It literally the what's its face came up. The notification came up.
Well. that's a more forgivable mistake, but I will scold it for you.
Okay, listen guys, I think it's luckily relatively mild. Mr. Snitcher is away from his keyboard at the moment, so I can't ask him. But Aaron, we are recording this. Are you okay with being recorded though, by the way? Sorry.
Awesome. For sure, that's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll just double check with Adam. Otherwise, I don't know how I'll edit him out, but I'll find a way. Okay, let me also just close.
Shall we demo DAIHard?
Let me just quickly close Signal here. Yeah, no, we can demo DAIHard now. Sorry for the guys who've seen DAIHard before. I think we might have a meeting or two where we just like boot everyone up with stuff until the sale is live, and then we'll probably have new projects demoing new features for everything every week. Okay, cool. DAIHard.
Okay. I think you're still okay. Cool. Right. Share. Okay. So we have a much snazzier domain for this one compared to our other projects. This is DAIHard.exchange. And this is how. So the idea behind DAIHard is that it's an unstoppable entry and exit mechanism to crypto, specifically to DAI. Of course, the challenging bit is to get into crypto in the first place. So we only support DAI, knowing that if you have DAI, you can get really anything else you want without much trouble. But we do have a lot of options between going to DAI and any other currency. So there's many things you can choose from here. And the reason we can support so many, and we also don't have any KYC, we don't have any signups like SmokeSignal. There's no usernames. You don't ever put in your email address, and there's also no server. So both these products are built to be unkillable and very much based on Ethereum. You know, even if we get thrown into jail and every sort of development member on the team goes offline, this thing will continue running because it's all built on smart contracts and stuff. So the way this works is a little different than most exchanges. Say I want to sell. Okay, my favorite example is if I landed at an airport in a new country where I don't have an exchange set up and I don't know anybody, but I have DAI and I want to get a local currency. So let's say, okay, let me just see how much DAI I have.
Sorry, Logan, can I just interject here? Let's just please do this on Kovan from the start this time.
Oh yeah, that's, yes. Kovan. Do I have Kovan DAI?
Is there a limit to this, to the no KYC thing? Because I'm working with a few other projects like Mooney, I think of specifically, and they have like a on-off program where they just wire together some APIs and stuff. So I haven't created anything from scratch, but essentially you can do up to $5,000 into a bank account without KYC. But I don't know how that works in the back end. I'm not sure how these APIs are, handling all of that stuff. But is there like a limit to how much you can exchange through this? No limit.
And no limit. and you'll see sort of how we can do that in just a second. So let's say I want to sell a curse. I don't think I actually have that much dye. I'm just going to fill this in for now. Pretend I do. How much is $50 in ZAR roughly, Skalk?
It's about $1,000, 8,000 rands.
You're muted. Oh, no,
It's about 1,000 rands.
Okay, so let's say I've landed in South Africa and I want the local currency. Okay. Now what I'm going to say here is I will be landing at Syria at the local airport on Wednesday at 1600, something like this. Meet me there with the cash. And you would probably want to include a little bit more information, but you're writing this for another human to read, and knowing that the other human will decide to take this offer or not. When they take the offer, which I'll get into in a second, they're going to have to put in a deposit of 1/3 of what I'm trying to sell. So what I'm trying to do, what the purpose of this text is to explain my situation accurately enough to where they can intelligently make that decision as to whether to put their money into this smart contract, knowing that there's going to be punishments if something goes wrong. You can change sort of the life cycle of how long this goes. How long do I want the offer to remain valid if nobody picks it up? How long do we have to actually make the payment? So in this case, it would be how long does he have between saying he'll do it and actually meeting me at the airport and giving me the money? And then how long after that do I have the chance to burn the money in the smart contract in case there's some attempted scam? So I'm going to proceed with this offer. This basically just explains a lot of what I've already said. And now I actually have to change this 50 because I don't actually have that much. I have a very small amount. I don't even remember how much. But we can imagine that is 50 dye.
So how do you do how I can see that there'd be like a need for arbitration here. So imagine I say meet me at the airport. You say you came to the airport. I'm saying you didn't. What do we do in that case?
So looks like I still don't have enough dye here. Damn it, Scott, could you send me some dye and I'll answer that question. Let me just post my address here in the chat and just give me a second. Where's the chat? Yeah, so basically the way this works is that you can think of the fundamental mechanism here as not actually escrow or arbitration, but actually an alternative to those systems that does the same thing, because there's actually no third in the system at all. So at the end of the day, it's me being the seller of this 50 dye that decides, well, I have a window of time, and here it's 3 days unless I change this to something else, during which I can decide to destroy the currency. Now, in that case, I still lose the 50 dye I've put in there, but I've also made sure that the attempted scam didn't profit and actually came to a loss because they had to put in their 1/3 of my 50 dye. So the idea here is not exactly to protect the users from losing money. It's rather to always make sure that an attempted scam gets punished. And the idea there is that then the scam should never be attempted in the first place. Yeah, so that's the idea. It's basically a marketplace that has a sort of a disinfectant built into it to where scammers don't even get into the system. And so then you're dealing with people, and it's a bit nerve-wracking. It might not be the most comforting tool to use, but the idea is that it makes up for it because it's reliable and you can use it anywhere. And the game theory inside of it makes it to where you can put money into it, and given that there's other people using the system, which right now there's not, but if there are, they'll see the offer and commit to it without you even having to go through applicants. It just sort of magically attracts someone, almost like fishing. You throw your bait out there with dye in the contract, and then you log on a few hours later and somebody is committed to it and they're asking you where to meet you at the airport. So that is well, that's how it works. That's how we see it working.
This is really awesome. I've got a hard stop in 2 minutes, but this has been really great to catch up on the stuff that you guys are doing. I mean, I'm really impressed, and I'm looking forward to yourself. I'm probably going to contribute myself. So, yeah, but it's really great stuff, man. It's really, really great stuff, and I can't wait to see where you guys take this further. So
cool. Yeah, so Skulk should put the video from last week up where we demoed DieHard, and what you haven't seen yet is the marketplace, and then when you're actually in the trade, there's also an encrypted chat that also is built on Ethereum, so you can actually communicate with your guy and also go on eventually get something like that. So, sorry?
No. It's very dirty on-chain encrypted text. So
yes.
On-chain.
Yeah, we scale when it's necessary. That's a
that's right.
Premature
and
optimization
we'll abuse
evil.
That's right, and we'll abuse Ethereum for as long as it makes sense to do so economically, because that's, it's a kind of a respect for Ethereum in a way, if you think about it.
For sure. You guys, I've got another meeting.
Aaron,
right
thank
now.
you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you sent
so there are 2 new people in the chat as well outside of Aaron. Warwick, Andre, would you guys and Mr. Dude, would you guys like us to complete the demo for SmokeSignal?
You mean DieHard?
Sorry, DieHard.
Have you sent me the die yet, Skulk?
I have. You should have 10 DAI cents in that account. Sorry, okay, yes, Andre, would you like us to continue?
I've actually seen it, so no, that's cool.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Well,
all right.
We're telling the same jokes over and over, Logan. It's time for
no. That's right. It's good. Time to go Bill Burr. I think it's him that, anyway, that's a tangent. But speak up if you want to see the rest of it. If not, that's fine. And in any case, we'll have that content up on YouTube soon.
Yeah.
Any questions other from anyone that we haven't discussed yet? Can you see when people are typing in the chat, by the way?
No, I don't think I can. No.
Okay. Well, no responses yet.
Yeah, guys, you're all on auto mute. Just FYI, if that wasn't clear. So just unmute yourselves if you do want to ask a question and you feel I'm ignoring you.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Well, so next demo, we should hopefully have something new to show, right? But we'll let you guys know sometime before the meeting in any case, so you can judge whether you'd like to attend. But anyway, thanks for joining this time. It's great to update you guys, and feel free to reach out and ask questions at any point, whether in the demos or outside them. And yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thanks, Andre. Thanks, Scotty. Thanks, Warwick. Thanks, Mr. Dude. Yeah, and
hey, Snitcher went through a gender change operation. I think that was quick. That was so quick. That's important. No wonder they had to leave in the demo. They forgot about their scheduled gender change.
Anyway, okay. Well, I think Adam. All right, guys. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay. Have a nice day. I like how juvenile our meetings are.
Yeah, it's important to remain juvenile. I think it's. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, well, who's going to argue with us, man? It's the post-truth society. We say whatever we feel like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And besides, if they just tell us it's not important to be juvenile, we could say, "Well, I know you are, but what am I?" And
that's beautiful. All right, cool. Listen, Logan, I think for next week, maybe let's see how far we get on the white paper, but then I think I'll just, if we do actually get the white paper done, I'll do like a little presentation to walk people through the thing, just like a little, and we can have like Skulk reads the Foundry white paper.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine. And maybe it might be worth just doing some small update to SmokeSignal as well. For example, I could have the replies sorted by burn amount, but I'm not sure if that's worth it. But we can talk more as time goes on.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty.
All right. Have a nice day that side. Cheers, man. Thanks for the demo. Bye. Cheers, Warwick.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you, Google.